My name is Anna. I am 32 years old. I live with my husband, David. We have been married for 8 years. Our life is not perfect, but we have love, and that is enough for me. I have always believed that friendship is as important as family. And for many years, I had a friend who was closer to me than a sister. Her name is Lisa. We met in college, and from the first day, we were inseparable. Lisa knew all my secrets. She knew when I was happy and when I was sad. She was the first person I called when I had good news, and the one I cried to when life felt heavy. She came to my wedding, stood by my side, and told me, "Anna, I will always be your friend." I trusted her completely. I never doubted her words, never questioned her smile. I believed she wanted the best for me, for my marriage, for my family. But sometimes, the people who stand closest to you are the ones who can hurt you the most. I didn't know it then, but the friend I loved like a sister was never truly my friend at all. At first, nothing seemed wrong. Lisa visited often, just like before. She brought cakes from the bakery, sat on the couch with me, and talked for hours. But slowly, I began to notice small things that made me uneasy. She started asking questions she never asked before. "Does David earn enough for both of you?" she said one afternoon, her eyes curious. "Do you keep any savings for yourself, Anna? You should think about your future." I laughed nervously. "We share everything. We don't keep secrets." Her lips curved into a smile, but it wasn't warm. Not everyone is honest in marriage." Her words stung, though I tried to ignore them. Later, she made comments about David. When he came home tired from work, Lisa said, "He doesn't look happy. Are you sure he still loves this life with you?" Another time, when David offered us tea, she leaned close and whispered, "He's charming. I can see why you married him." I brushed it off as jokes, but my heart felt heavy. Why would she say such things? Still, I told myself she was only concerned. She was my best friend, after all. Surely, Lisa only wanted to protect me, not harm me. But deep down, a seed of doubt had been planted. And once planted, doubt always grows. As weeks passed, Lisa began visiting even more often. Before, she usually came in the afternoons when David was at work. But now she appeared in the evenings, just when he was about to come home. She made herself comfortable, as if our house belonged to her too. She opened the fridge without asking, poured herself a drink, and sat at the table waiting for him. When David entered, tired from work, she would smile brightly. "David, you must be so exhausted," she said one evening, pulling out his chair before I could. "Come, sit. You need to rest." I laughed nervously, trying to hide my discomfort. "Lisa, let me do that." But she only shrugged. "What are friends for?" Another night, when I brought tea, I noticed her leaning closer to him, asking questions about his job, his dreams, even his childhood. She listened so carefully, her eyes shining, as if his words were a treasure. I felt a knot in my stomach. This was not normal. Yet I kept telling myself she was only being kind. She was my best friend. She had always been by my side. How could I suspect her of anything else? Still, something inside me whispered that lines were being crossed, that trust was slowly being tested. I ignored the whisper. I didn't want to believe it. But the whisper would not stay silent for long. One evening, I was in the kitchen washing dishes. Lisa had stopped by again, even though I told her David would be late. To my surprise, I heard the front door open earlier than usual. David was home. Their voices drifted down the hallway. At first, I thought nothing of it, just small talk. But then I noticed the tone. Lisa's voice was soft, almost a whisper. "You deserve better, David. She doesn't understand you the way I do." My hands froze in the soapy water. David's reply was quiet. I couldn't hear every word, only pieces. "Stop saying that. She's my wife. This isn't right." Lisa laughed, low and bitter. "If you really believed that, you wouldn't keep listening to me." My chest tightened. I pressed my back against the wall, my whole body trembling. I wanted to run into the room, to scream, but fear held me still. A moment later, I heard footsteps. I quickly grabbed a towel and pretended to be busy at the sink. Lisa entered the kitchen with a smile too sweet, her eyes glittering as if nothing had happened. David followed, silent, his face pale. I smiled back, forcing my lips to move, but inside I felt the world crumble. The doubt that had been whispering in my heart was no longer doubt. It was truth. Yet I said nothing. Not that night. Not yet. I was not ready to face the storm. I could not carry the weight of silence any longer. The words I had overheard repeated in my mind every hour of the day. Finally, one afternoon, when Lisa came to visit, I asked her to sit with me in the living room. "Lisa," I began, my voice trembling, "I need to ask you something. Why did you tell David that I don't understand him?" Her smile faltered for just a second before returning. "What? Anna, you must have misheard. I'd never say that." I leaned forward, my hands clenched together. "I was there. I heard you. Don't lie to me. Why are you saying these things behind my back?" For a moment, her face hardened. Then, to my shock, she laughed. A cold, cruel laugh I had never heard from her before. "Oh, Anna," she said, shaking her head. "You're so naive. You trusted me too much. Did you really think I wanted what's best for you? I've always wanted what you have. Your life, your husband, your happiness." Her words pierced me like a knife. My chest ached, and my eyes filled with tears. "All those years," I whispered. "You were never my friend." Her smile widened, sharp and merciless. "Friend? No, Anna. I was your shadow. Watching you, envying you. Waiting for the moment you'd finally see the truth." I sat frozen, my whole body trembling. The woman I had trusted with my deepest secrets was nothing but a fake. A mask. A betrayal wrapped in a smile. And I realized, with unbearable pain, that the friendship I thought was my strength had been my greatest weakness all along. That evening, when David came home, I couldn't hold back my tears. He looked at me, confused, then worried. "Anna, what's wrong?" he asked, kneeling beside me. I looked into his eyes and whispered, "I know everything. I know what Lisa has been saying to you. I heard her with my own ears." His face darkened. He sat down slowly, running his hands over his face. For a long time, he said nothing. Then, in a broken voice, he confessed. "She came to me months ago," he admitted. "At first, she acted like a sister, like someone who cared for both of us. But little by little, she began saying things about you. She told me you didn't love me anymore, that you only stayed out of duty. She said you laughed at me behind my back." I didn't believe her at first, but the way she spoke, the doubts crept in. She poisoned my mind. My chest ached as I listened. David's voice cracked. She told me she was the only one who truly understood me. That she was the friend I needed, not you. I never crossed the line, Anna. But I let her words live in my head. And I'm ashamed. Tears rolled down my cheeks. The truth hit me harder than I expected. Lisa had never wanted love. She hadn't wanted David for herself. What she wanted was destruction. She wanted to see my marriage break, my happiness ruined. I realized then that Lisa had never been my friend. She had been my enemy, hiding in plain sight, smiling while slowly tearing my world apart. And the pain of knowing I let her so close was almost unbearable. That night, I sat in the quiet of my bedroom, staring at the shadows on the wall. My baby photo albums, my wedding dress in the closet, the memories of laughter with Lisa, all of it felt heavy, poisoned by betrayal. I thought about the years I had called her my best friend. She knew my fears, my secrets, my dreams. I had trusted her with everything. But she had carried jealousy in her heart, hiding it behind her smile. While I believed she was lifting me up, she was quietly pulling me down. David came to me, his eyes full of regret. I should have told you sooner. I should never have listened to her. Please forgive me. I shook my head gently. It's not only you, David. I let her too close. I let a snake live in my house because I believed she was my sister. The pain in my chest was deep, but something inside me shifted. I realized I could not change the past. I could not change Lisa's betrayal. But I could choose my future. The next morning, I sent her a single message. We are no longer friends. Stay away from me and my family. Then I deleted her number forever. As I held David's hand, I knew rebuilding trust would take time. But one thing was certain, Lisa's shadow no longer had a place in my life. Sometimes, enemies do not come from outside. They sit beside you, call themselves friend, and smile while destroying your world. But true friendship is different. True friendship builds. Fake friendship destroys. And I promised myself that never again would I mistake one for the other. Have you ever trusted someone who turned out to be a fake friend? Share your story in the comments. And if you liked this one, please like, share, and subscribe.